So to begin with, I'd just like to say that you can't overstate the importance of this forum and these conversations we are having here today. You know, it's often said that advertising reflects culture, but the fact is that it shapes it. If you do the math on how much screen time ad content gets and the sheer reach it has, you can see the role it plays or can play in molding the cultural discourse. Not just challenging some old ideas, but seeding some new ones. It's a responsibility for sure, but to me it's more than that, it's an opportunity to use your ideas and storytelling to help create the kind of world you'd like your kids to live in. I mean, what better reason to come into work every morning? The next thing I'd say, this responsibility/opportunity becomes even more vital given where the world finds itself. With so much of the good work done in preceding decades, especially in the areas of representation and inclusion, is being actively undone. For us at Publicis, there's really no better partner in this mission than Diageo, with its roster of iconic brands. We've only just begun working together, but we know that at Diageo, unstereotyping is not lip service. It's not a tick box on a briefing document. It's in the sensibility of the organization, an innate awareness that informs every piece that goes out and the impact it'll have. Not just to deliver marketing success, but to deliver social impact as well. And as the data shows, these are not at cross purposes. So I'm happy to hand over to Ruchira now, who will take us through the Diageo playbook for progressive marketing.
Thanks, Kartik. And Kartik is my partner, so he has to say nice things about me. You can take that with a pinch of salt. But I have to say this, that at Diageo, a lot of the work that we do is informed by not just our own philosophy, which I'll talk you through, but equally to what is going on in the consumer world in the larger context of where we are today. We do have the youngest population in India. A lot of people wonder why in India this is such a live conversation. The fact is that Gen Z today is more open to the fact that gender is not binary, inclusion is not something that is a non-negotiable, and they have their own way to navigate it, news stories and headlines aside. And we live in the youngest country in the world. So for me, in Diageo India, for a lot of the roster of marketers that you see over here, this is a live issue to say, how do we confront not just what is a large population above the age of 26, which is broadly the median, and also the population that's coming into maturity as we speak. This was an eye-opener. A lot of you have spent this morning talking about this, but for me personally, this data was something that was just so telling. Sometimes, and Kartik and I were talking about it before we came on stage, we know all about the tokenism, we know all about wokeism. When the two of them come together, that's very damaging. It results in a broader rejection of what has been maybe a more progressive view. The world today is divided between the liberal male archetype and the manosphere, and I can see Arvind in the audience and his archetypes and everything that he does. So I'm a little nervous speaking in front of him, but honestly, the fact is that we all know these examples. They're live in front of all of us. And this is a real watch out. India, by the way, sits pretty much in the top 5, top 6 markets over there. So it's not like we're very different. At the same time, like I said, we're a very young population. So the challenge for us as marketers, as organizations, as business, and indeed as just citizens of this society are very, very real. So on one hand, you've got films like The Great Indian Kitchen. I would endorse seeing the Malayalam version of it and not just the Hindi version. But equally, you've got box office, complete blockbusters like Animal and Kabir Singh. I mean, honestly, when the two come together, you're wondering, and Pushpa, you're wondering what is going on? What really is that true picture of what's going on in society? And the fact is both, right? So how do we negotiate the space here think of it from a consumer's point of view and from a marketer's point of view, and particularly from this CMO's point of view. It's pretty much a hot seat, right? All these headlines are always conflicting. On any given day, you wake up and say, what are we going to do and how do we stand as an organization? What I'm really, really proud of is our DNA as marketers must be, and this is something that I know that we agree on as the Publicis Group and Diageo, we have to shape a vibrant and inclusive picture of society that we want society to be. There is no option for us. We do talk about shaping aspirations, but in a responsible way, in a way that is sustainable. And we do recognize that there are going to be many diverse voices. And I hope I can bring some of those examples alive for you, because this is meant to be a case study and not just a theoretical piece. A lot of us know this data. We partnered with Kantar originally, and then after that, ASCI also did a separate report where we talked about how inclusive and diverse voices actually completely change the game for brands, for their distinctiveness, for purchase intent, and not just short-term, but medium-term and long-term sales as well. So that's a very, very compelling business logic. The reality falls short. People aren't doing it even today. Little dated, 2023 really data, but at the same time, things haven't really moved as fast. And imagine, like Kartik said, we're already talking about moving back a little bit. In the midst of all of this, we revisited as Diageo what we wanted to stand for. Our goal is to transform our own marketing practices. Look, we can't talk for the world. So our goal is transforming our own marketing practices to be more representative, to be more progressive, to become a driving force in the industry. And that's why we're proud to partner with ASCI in forums such as this, because we do believe that we are responsible for the world that we see and what we want to shape. DE&I is part of our sustainability goals. It's not something that we do in isolation. It's not something, like you said, which is done around Women's Day. By the way, we don't do Women's Day communication. I mean, because we don't need to. We do it 365 days of the year, right? So that's what Diageo's mission is. What I'm going to do is share with you some examples of advertising, which talk about the diverse voices, not just a voice, not just a woman's voice, not just a man's voice, but diverse voices, not just the voices of the able, but also those who are not as able, and how do we bring them into mainstream. We do have a framework, and this framework is a quantitative framework. It's one that we tick off against. It's not something that we look at and say, you know what, it's nice to do DEI. What that means is, not only is there representation, not only do we show the brown face or the woman's face or the older person's face in the creative, there's also perspective. What perspective are they coming from? There's agency, the ability to shape the story, to react, to be a part of the narrative in a way that's meaningful. And equally, the characterization goes beyond the stereotype. We're also big partners with the Unstereotype Alliance, and that's another piece of work that we're really, really proud of. What I'm going to do is now put creative on. It's the only way that I can really tell the story and prove that we really walk the talk. So the first piece of creative is one of our oldest brands, our largest brand, and the brand that sits really at the bottom of the pyramid. And when we actually put this creative together, a lot of people wondered whether it would really talk to the consumer. Guess what? It does. So why don't we just roll with the creative, and then I can, take it through.
ओए कुक्की, तेरा ब्रेकअप वाला डायलॉग है यार।
पता था हर साल यही करवाते हो, मगर हमेशा एक यार छूट जाता है। ऋषभ, ये तेरे लिए।
संजना, प्रॉब्लम ये नहीं है कि ब्रेकअप हुआ है।
जो हमेशा कुछ नया सिखाती है, यारों वाली बात तो वही होती है। हाउस ऑफ मैकडॉनल्ड्स, यारों वाली बात।
Stay-at-home husbands are called house husbands, Papa.
We call you guys boomers.
And what about women who don't want kids?
We call it their choice, no?
The idea is that when we embrace diverse voices and we give men equally the role to shape that progressive and inclusive dialogue, it's that much more meaningful. This ad was ranked by Kantar as one of the top scoring in terms of cut-through. And that itself is very telling, because we're talking about cut-through, which is both male and female.
I can't stand still. How could I? There is so much to explore. So much I haven't been yet. Ask me what I'm doing now. I'll say, getting there, one step at a time. I won't stand still. Correction, I can't. Keep walking.
Johnny Walker has celebrated 25 years on its mission of keep walking. Keep walking is a mantra that talks to progress, but goes beyond that, and today talks to the multi-hyphenated individual. While this particular creative, and you can see from that very shapely shoe there, is actually has Priyanka Chopra Jonas, who is a woman celebrity, the fact is that in her conversation, a lot of men see a reflection of the multi-hyphenated individuals that they want to be, people beyond just one career and one path. Again, fantastic equity scores, something that's tearing through and building the brand for us in ways that talks to a purpose that's much, much larger than the product. And finally, there's Royal Challenge. This is a special brand because this brand has actually talked about diversity and inclusion well ahead of its time. This particular creative was about the handover of the jersey and giving an equal platform, an equitable platform to women as well as men. These are the kind of conversations that I think as a marketer, we are proud to put out, and conversations that we want to build in society.
Jersey number 18 has witnessed many firsts, broken many records. But jersey number 18 is not just mine. It belongs to someone who makes India proud, someone who chooses bold at every game. India, let's cheer for jersey number 18 and our Naya shade. Life chooses you when you choose bold.
Our philosophy really is about a world that is balanced, a world where there is place for diverse voices, there is place for equity, inclusion, and dignity for no one is ever up for debate. So I think it is a fantastic canvas that we have as marketers, and really proud to partner with agencies such as Publicis in bringing this alive. Kartik here actually, poor guy, we had to reconstruct this because Anupriya couldn't make it today. So Kartik very gamely came up with me, and I don't know if there are any closing comments that you want to make.
No, like I said, we've just started our journey together, and working with a partner or a company that, like I said, lives this and it's innately in them, just makes it so much more authentic and so much more effective, the kind of work we put out.
Yeah, and we see that like-minded person in Publicis. So thanks a ton, everyone.
Thank you.